Peace to the family. Alright, cool, y'all. Hope y'all have an amazing day. Hope y'all feeling joyous and powerful today. I actually just created an entire video and the shit did not load at all. So now I gotta start over. With that being said, right, we gonna push to get this done. Today's topic is intermittent fasting, right? That being said, we gonna rock through this. I actually gotta erase this because I gotta start over, right? While I'm erasing, please feel free that if you get any value out of this information, I apologize. My name is Natural Alchemist. Excuse me. We're gonna go through intermittent fasting. If there's any you get value from this information, definitely feel free to. While we're leaving a lot of these things in the well, my GoFundMe is in the bio. And Venmo, Cash App, Patreon. I will be doing a Patreon because I'm not gonna give everything. Because to be completely honest with y'all, I've helped all the people I've helped reverse these different illnesses, from psoriasis, diabetes, high blood pressure, Bell's palsy, COVID, and a couple other things. I did all those things for free, right? And kid gotta eat. Kid gotta eat. And this isn't, what I'm saying, this is valuable information. Stuff that has changed your life and anybody else's. So, yeah, I'll be doing a lot more of this on Patreon, but I'm gonna give y'all some information because I know, based on experience, that everybody's not gonna value it the same. So they're not gonna cash at me. They're not gonna go fund me. They ain't gonna do. So you know what I'm saying. But I do want to still give some free information, right? So topic of the day is intermittent fasting. Gotta start over because, like I said, everything was gone, right? So why intermittent fast? Let's actually touch on what happens when we eat first. Cool. So, and with, especially when we're not intermittent fasting. Cool. So, what happens? We already know it's about eating, so cool, right? What happens? So, it happens in 3 stages: absorption, right? I would set this up, but last time I did, based on the last video, it didn't work too well, but we can see. Hopefully y'all can see. Now y'all can't really see that, so I'm gonna just hold it. Okay. All right, cool. So absorption, digestion. Excuse me, backtrack. My bad. Digestion, absorption, and then excretion. Okay. So we got 3 stages whenever you eat: digestion, absorption, and excretion. Okay? Cool. So, all 8 hours apiece, right? If your colon is clean, right? Very, very, very important caveat, right? And we'll get into why in a second. So, if the colon is clean, which is a whole other important, very extremely important part of your health. And if that's not done, then you're gonna have problems, period, right? So, and if that doesn't happen properly, then the absorption doesn't happen properly. And if that doesn't, then obviously excretion doesn't happen properly, right? Cool. So, let's just say in an ideal world, though, this is what's going on. Cool. With that being the case, you can see that's 24 hours. Cool. So now say we eating 3 meals a day. Just like a car, it's going to get backed up. We're going to have major problems. This is what it kind of looks like. Cool. So now we got a cell, right? So now this is like millions and billions of these, right? Got a cell. Very, very smart, but very unhappy with what we're doing with it. So we got stuff coming in. This also can lead to the type 2 diabetes conversation and a lot of conversations. Because if you're eating 3 meals a day, especially if it's not the right things, it's going to lead to type 2 diabetes and a ton of other issues, right? So this happens, and then the cell is like, well, we got all this stuff coming in, Got to get rid of toxins, right? So then, boom, toxins supposed to get sent out, whatever. Mind you, the cells work in triple shifts because we ate way too much to begin with, and we eating too late. So this is why people eat, uh, you know, they can get 10 hours of sleep and still feel tired because their eyes are closed, but their body is still doing these things, the digestion, you know what I'm saying, the absorption, the excretion, or trying to. So anyway, the toxins go, and then they, because can't do anything else with them, they're so smart, so either put it in the bloodstream, right, or store it somewhere because we ain't trying to die, right? So it stores it in fat cells. So boom, this is FAT. That's the fat cell. Cool. That fat cell then gets stored in the lower belly, and then that looks like I'm gonna just draw a little picture. This is now a person who is also sad. Why? Because they got a little muscle. They got some muscles. I you know what I'm saying? They got a little muscle on them. That's a little muscle on them, right? But they got a big pot belly, right? Or a little pot belly. It don't matter, right? But this is what's going on. It gets stored in the belly, lower belly, and then going to lead to a ton of different issues. That's just what we see externally happening, right? That's not actually showing what's going on internally in the colon and all those issues, right? So now this is going to lead to what? It's a ton of stuff. What? High blood pressure, you know what I'm saying, because of the cholesterol too, you know, LDLs, right? That gets into that conversation. Cool. And that's also from that all the way to Alzheimer's, because all of these things are caused, don't get it twisted. Alzheimer's is caused by us eating, one, eating the wrong things, two, eating way too much, entirely too much, right? And all these other things do too. Diabetes, especially type 2 diabetes, right? So, yeah, definitely not the way. Cool. So now that we know what's going on when we're eating entirely too much, let's get into the benefits, right? And that was a brief overview, but just to give you an idea why it's not a good idea to be eating 3 meals a day, especially if it's not the right foods. Okay? So now, let's get into why. Got a few different reasons, a lot of different reasons that are very important. And I won't touch on all of them, because like I said, I gotta eat. I'm out here, gotta get this shit right? So, cool. That being said, let's get into it. First thing, right? Let's get into when we first off, intermittent fasting, okay? Windows. Well, we'll get into that because actually those are questions that people have asked me. Like, what is it? Well, I'll just say this. Intermittent fasting is eating less time than you're not eating. Okay? So, 14 and 10 is the first place to start, and then you can go on from there. So like 14 hours of not eating. No eating. No mange, right? Shout out to the French people out there. Shout out to Haiti. Right? And then 10 hours of eating. Okay? During that 10 hours, you don't want to be eating 3 meals still, right? Ideally 2 at the most. Granted, you might, not saying you can't, right? It's not like you're going to die if that happens. This is still eating 3 meals in this time is still better than not eating, or excuse me, than eating, than not intermittent fasting, right? But you don't want to eat that much during that time. Cool. That being said, let's get into some benefits, right? First, cellular. Let's just say cell repair. We'll do it like that because I try to make this as simple as possible. You know what I'm saying? It's just you get real crazy. You know. Another thing, they your brain shuts down after 4 syllables, right? Really 3. So anything 4 syllables and over, your brain shuts down. This is, think about the medical terminology, but that's just think about that. So right, so cell repair and autophagy. I don't know if you ever heard of that. Some people have, right? I'm gonna break it down real simple. Autophagy, right, is just your body getting rid of damaged cells, right? So getting rid of trash, these trash cells as damaged, all this other stuff, right? Cell repair, right? Same conversation, right? Important, extremely important, because your body is made up of cells. If your cells ain't right, nothing's right. Okay, so make sure you understand that. That being said, 7, you need water. Your body is, your cells are made of water. Okay, so you want to be making sure you get at least 70%, at least 70% of body weight, of your body weight in ounces of water per day, right? And OZs, cool, right? Very important, because and I made this mistake too. When I first started intermittent fasting, I noticed that I stopped eating. My windows were shorter, but I was filling that 10-hour window with food, with more food. And then that leads to mucus buildup and all that other stuff, right? We'll get into that later. Not right now. Not this conversation, but water, very important. Because if you don't fill it with this, then you're going to be filling it with the nonsense. Starches and all the other, you know what I'm saying? When I say starch, I'm talking about the, not necessarily vegetables, because vegetables are starches, right? But the other shit, potatoes and then the other stuff, the carbs that aren't good for you, because fruits are carbs, even veggies, some veggies, right? In a sense, right? But not gonna help. Not gonna help. So make sure you get your water in. Cool. That being said, let's get into cell repair, right? That happening. This also, remember I told you the cells aren't able to do those things, working triple shifts. So now you get your cells a chance to rest, right? The way that you wouldn't run your car the entire day, right? Even if somebody gave you unlimited gas, you wouldn't do that because you know it would break down. This is what we're doing with our bodies, right? So it's important that we get those things in order. That being said, it's going to lead to norepinephrine increase. I ain't going to get too much into that, but I will say that leads to the breakdown of these fats, fat cells, and increased metabolic rate, right, in and of itself. So it's going to lead to an increase. Hold on. Increase of a metabolic rate. Now, we obviously, well, maybe not obviously, that's going to lead to weight loss, right? Most people's favorite topic, even though it's way less important than what people put emphasis on, right? They have you thinking that this is an external game. It's not. It's an internal game, okay? Weight loss, though. Let's talk on it, right? They did a study, and it showed that they had people intermittent fasting, and the results was that they lost 3 to 8% of that body weight, right? In 3 to 24 weeks, right? In 2 weeks, they lost 1.8%, right? I think those numbers are kind of low. I've definitely have lost more than that quicker, right? That's a whole nother conversation. Cool. So that's That alone is huge, right? It's going to lead to decreased blood pressure, right? Which is the whole, and decreased cholesterol, right? So I should say decreased cholesterol, right? So cholesterol goes down, more specifically LDLs, um, right? Which is going to lead to lower blood pressure, okay? That alone, that alone is a huge chip, right? I ain't gonna say why, but y'all can put two and two together, right? I'll touch on the rest in my Patreon, right? Increased brain BDNF, neurological disorders also as well fall in that conversation, right? Cholesterol, um, insulin level drop. I ain't gonna get too much into that. We'll say that for Patreon too. Big one, right? It's gonna lead. They did another study, showed that it leads to a longer lifespan, right? Now, this number is staggering, right? It leads to a 13% increase. 13% increase in your lifespan, right? So think about that. Average lifespan is what? 74 for men, I think. 74 for men. I want to say 74 years old for men. And let's just rock with that. I don't even know the one for women, to be completely honest with you. So let's just say 74% for men. 10% of that is 7 years. So add another at least 7 years to your life. Just intermittent fasting, right? Major key, right? So I'm gonna erase this. I hope y'all got that. Hope y'all, you know what I'm saying, y'all can always go back and do that, right? Do y'all thing with that. 14 and 10s, just to recap on that. 14 and 10s, place to start. 16 and 8s is a good place to be. Ideally, 18 and 6s, right? So let's touch on this. Actually, a good place to segue into the questions that people had for me. A couple questions. First question: does it have to be in the AM, or excuse me, backtrack. Let's do another question before that. There was one before that I wanted to touch on. 14 and 10, 16 and 8. Time. Well, yeah. So I guess it does kind of lead to that, right? Does it have to be in the AM? AM or PM, right? Cool. Which one's better? You're supposed to answer that question. Very simple. You don't want to eat past 9. Honestly, 9 is too late. But I just tell people, like, if you want to stretch it, 9. Ideally 7. Right, 7 or 8, right? 7 or 8 p.m. to stop. That means that you will have to start your window, right? If you start at 7, then at 11, right? Is that right? Nah, I don't think that's right. Yeah, that's 8 hours. So 9 to 7, 9 a.m., right? Or 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. Okay? Right? So that's the first question that someone had for me. Shout out to my sis on that, Halima. I wish I knew her IG right now. She does some amazing things, so I'm probably just tag people as I get into it, right? Cool. What do you eat? What to eat, right? You want to be on a plant-based regimen, to be specific. If you eat in the dead carcasses and the cow pus, right, then that's your thing, right? I can't really, if you're going to do that, go more lean, but ideally you want to do plant-based, right? One thing we didn't touch on, actually I'll touch on in a second, right? So eating, you want to like fruits, veggies, you know what I'm saying? Keep it simple. Ideally more fruits, veggies, nuts, seeds, right? Nuts. We can get into that as far as like, one, soak them if you can, right? I know some people will be, oh, what about soaking the seeds and that. Yeah, which is important. And we'll say that. Get into that conversation about sprouted grains and sprouted everything, right? Nuts, seeds, though, ones that are higher in protein. If you're trying to gain protein, gain muscle, because protein is the actual muscle that's built, right? But that's not. They come from amino acids, right? Which actually leads me to another part of the eating part. So, you want to go higher protein, nut seeds like pumpkin seeds and cashews and there's a ton of different ones you could rock with. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just gonna give you out those for now. Pumpkin seeds and cashews, right? Almonds are cool too, right? Bcaas. Somebody asked me about that, right? Branch chain, because the thing is, this is how they're actually built, as amino acids. Amino acids build proteins, right? So, a few good ones that I've seen: clean, CLEAN, BCAAs. Another one was clean machine, and then naked. Clean machine, and then naked BCAAs. Right? Find all those online. I wish I got paid for those, but I don't. So, another thing. At some point, do a colon cleanse. I will leave a very good one. I'll get mine from intensityunited.com. I'll send you a link if you need it. Shed fat, keep muscle down. This is the actual building part, right? This is why you should be intermittent fasting and lifting in the fasted state. Lifting in the fasted state, right? Whether it be body weight or actual weights. I personally would suggest body weight exercises, but this is how you actually build muscle, right? So, if y'all watch sports, then y'all know that people get caught with PEDs, performance enhancement drugs, right? PEDs, right? But what they're searching for is what actually builds the muscle, HGH. When you lifting, or first of all, when you're intermittent fasting, HGH is going to increase, period. Okay? But when you lifting in the fasted state, so you got to think HGH are hormones, which are instructors. So think about it like having a Lego, got a bunch of Legos. Those are the amino acids. But if you ain't got the manual, then you can't build it. Okay? So the hormones, the increase in hormone, then builds more muscle. Right? So if this is up, that means muscle is going to build quicker and more efficiently. Now, to give you the idea how much more, men lifting in the fasted state produce 2,000% more HGH, right? During that time. For women, it's 1,000%. So there you go. You can kill all the other nonsense that you might be hearing about. Oh, don't lift in the fasted state. Don't do in the fasted state, right? Because here you go. 1,000% more. For women, right? Men, 2,000%. Right? So that alone is going to put you in a space where you're going to be lifting, shedding fat quicker, because you're still going to be shedding fat. because your body's going to be still getting rid of the fat, getting rid of those things. So the fasted cardio, very, very important. But lifting in the fasted state, and then it's going to put you in a space. So like when I first started, lost all that weight, never changed any of my clothes. Lost 35 pounds. Never changed not a single stitch of clothing. Why? Because I was still building muscle, right? But lost all the fat. Okay? So, let me see. Also regulate circadian rhythm. Very important. Sleep is extremely important. Something I need to get a lot more of. Definitely, right? But it also regulates your circadian rhythm, right? So add that to the list of things too. Decreases fatty liver disease, decreases, like I said, heart disease, decreases high blood pressure, decreases amyloid plaque, which I'll get into in the actual video, touching on, you know what I'm saying, like, on Patreon, because like I said, just giving away too much information away for free, and then nobody pay me for this shit, you know. So yeah, let me see what else. What to eat? Shed fat, AM, PM. Somebody asked specifically about type 2 diabetes, so I will say that it I won't get into, it's a couple of things I definitely won't get into, but it definitely decreases type 2 diabetes, or your chances of getting it, and if you have it, then it will also decrease it, because just think about what I was saying earlier. You got a cell, right? Well, we won't get into it, but I'll just say that autophagy happens. So these are damaged cells, right? When you have insulin resistance, that means that the insulin, this is insulin, is turned off, okay? So that's a damaged cell, because it's not supposed to be like that. Once that's taken care of, you flush that cell out. Bye. B-Y-E. Bye-bye. See you later, right? Once that leaves, then you get new cells in, and it helps tremendously with that. So, that being said, yeah, that's pretty much it. Cash at me at $Alchemist, ALKEMIST, ALKEMIST 24. Okay, Natural Alchemist 24 on Venmo. I got a GoFundMe. The link is in the bio. Patreon information, I will be definitely letting y'all know that. That'll be probably in the what you call it, description, caption, whatever you want to call it. And then yeah, if you want any consultations, let me know. We can set up a consultation. You know what I'm saying? More advanced, or excuse me, not advanced, in-depth, exclusive information, you know, one-on-ones, things like that. Hit me up, you know, if you want to work with me. Let's see if there's anything else I forgot. I also do training sessions, meditation sessions, stretching sessions. Also getting into some life coaching stuff. I actually probably go live about that later at some point, soon, very soon. Getting the mental unlocked, right? Figuring this out. Once this is figured out, everything else falls right in line. So, I think that's it, y'all. Inflammation, reduces inflammation, free radicals, oxidative stress. Yeah, I ain't even getting the gene expression and hormone function, but actually kind of did in the hormone function, right? Because HGH, but that's a hormone. Oh shoot. So we'll get into that later at some point, like I said, in Patreon. Any other questions, definitely let me know. I'll probably go live, if not today, then tomorrow. Yeah. Peace and love and light. Use this information, because knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power, right? The only difference between a fool and a wise person is that the fool has the knowledge, right? But don't use it. All right, so you got it now. That's intermittent fasting. in a nutshell, you know. So, other questions, hit me up. Like I said, feel free to send the boys some bread. Gotta eat, gotta live. You know what I'm saying? Gotta get a place to stay, all that other good shit. So, much love. I'm out at y'all. Peace.